guys. Welcome to this episode of the Training Feed. I'm one of your hosts, Jacques Delager. With me are Angel Sanchez
Hello.
and David Bravo. How
What's up,
are we
guys?
feeling?
Feeling okay.
We're feeling a little beat up.
Hanging in there.
Let's be honest.
Speaking of being
David?
up, David, tell us.
Yo. My hamstring ain't doing so hot. It's about to be a hamstrung. No, I just strained it. So gotta rehab it now.
Playing rugby?
Practicing, not playing. We have a game on Saturday. Tomorrow.
Guess we ain't playing then.
Hell nah.
Damn, sidelines already.
Sucks.
You on the injured
Sideline
reserve.
already.
LTIR, long-term injured
Crazy.
reserve. They're going to put someone in instead of you.
The
Damn, if
disabled
David was
list.
a pro, you put him on your fantasy team, you'd be pissed.
Yeah, David, that's I'm cutting you. I'm putting you on
the
waivers.
Disabled list, you know? Oh, you
Like,
can't
why
say
the
that anymore.
hell do I got this guy on my team? Why I got him on my roster?
I'm trading you, David. That's it.
I'm
I'm
trading
trading you
Sure.
for a washing machine.
Wow.
You ever see that on Semi-Pro, the movie?
No.
Well, did you see Angel?
No.
Will Ferrell is the owner, coach, and captain of his team. It's a basketball team in Flint, Michigan. It's a comedy. And he's like, I traded our best washing machine to get this guy here. So he traded a washing machine away to get a player. I'll send you guys the clip. But
pretty
all right,
funny.
so why are we gathered here today? Because we want to talk about a two-part topic. So we want to talk about traveling in the more specific topic of workouts when traveling. So often it's not a scenario that we're directly or identical to our normal workout routine environment, say at home or to the gym that we normally go to. So we go abroad, there's not the same gym equipment, it's set up a little different. So I really want to take the time today to discuss that. So when you two go away, for example, Angel's got a trip coming up, do you guys factor that in? Are you trying to really reset and do nothing the whole time? Are you looking to do a little bit of something? Tell us a bit more about that.
First of all, I don't like how you said reset and do nothing. That is negative talk, negative self-speak.
Some people don't want to do any
recovering.
working out. I'm not.
It's not so not working out is nothing. Those are equal.
Okay, so I spoke to you literally, and when I meant nothing, I meant no intense working out. That's just what I meant. I'm sure generally.
Yeah, I was just saying. You tell that to a client, oh, you're just gonna do nothing. Or
Some
when they
people do.
say, "Oh,
What
I
are you
do
gonna
nothing."
do?
Well,
What are you gonna
is
do?
it
You're not
nothing
there
or
with
is it
them.
recovery?
So I meant nothing when it came to any working out. So it is a
What
reset
is
recovery.
Nothing. Not
What is nothing? All right.
No, I definitely like to it depends on what I'm doing. Obviously, like if I'm, going on vacation for me myself, I think that there will be an active component to it. I rarely just sit down and close my eyes, whether it's on a beach or whatever. Like I like to walk around, I like to explore, like to hike, move. It might not be the center of it, right? So if I'm going to a place that, I might, if it's a place that I've never been before, I'm likely going to walk around a lot more than be seated or in a lying position. I'm trying to be very careful with my words so I don't feed into what I was preaching before. But yeah, I definitely take advantage of the recovery aspect. But I don't really like to sit down too much. Like even being on a plane or driving for long periods of time, it messes with my knees, messes with my hips. So I like to stay in motion and focus on the recovery. And or if I have something that I'm going to challenge myself with, I will work towards that challenge. For example, a big hike or some other activity.
Okay. What about you, David?
For me, it depends on how long I'm going away for. If it's a weekend trip, then I most likely won't work out. I'll just chill, If it's about a week trip, week and a half, 2 weeks, then I'll try to actually work out. So depending on where I go, if I could find the gym that I've emailed prior to and asked for like a day pass or something, or or if it's like a weightlifting meet, because usually when I would go away, it would be for meets, and you would work out there beforehand and stuff like that. So it all depends on how long and also where. So if it's a weekend trip, then I'll probably won't work out. So then if it's a week trip, depending, on where it is, I would either walk around a lot, chill by the pool, or, just hang out. Nothing crazy. And if I find a gym, then I'll try to keep as much as I can of my current program. If not, I try not to sweat it, because you're not on vacation forever. You're going to come back to your routine. So
not stress about it too much.
Yeah.
That's a fair point also. I think the other question I want to tie into that original one is, so when you travel, both of you, and you know that possibly you don't have access to a gym, are you going to be bringing bands? Are you bringing the appropriate footwear you normally wear, the active wear? You guys sound like we always wear a lot of active wear, so it's always something we may already just have on us anyway. But when you pack your bags, are you packing the appropriate shoes to walk out? Are you packing like resistance bands, the things of that nature? Headphones you probably pack because of you traveling, but can you guys give me some insight to that too?
I'll say that, I'll say that it depends on how long I'm going for, and then also if I have any training coming up. For example, I don't even think I've been on a trip that's lasted longer than a week, right? So 7 days away from my routine is very rare. And I've taken a week off of training before, and that's been fine. So there's the first thing. So if you're going for a little bit longer, then I can probably see like that makes sense. Like if you're going to go away for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, maybe you should pack some things, or that's something that I would be thinking of. And the other thing would be, it depends on if you're training for something, because 1 week could be a good amount of time if you're training for something and you have something coming up. One of the biggest examples that I was looking at is, I'm going to get married later on this year, and we have a honeymoon, and the New York Roadrunners hit me up to use my, my pass for the New York City Marathon. I'll be getting married in October. The marathon would be in the beginning of November. And I was thinking about the honeymoon directly after. And I said to myself, do I really want to be training on my honeymoon? The answer was a strict no. So I don't want to be focusing.
Was that your answer?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that was my answer. Partially because like it also takes time, right? It's like if you're going to train for a marathon, you have to set up, blocks of time being like anywhere between 30 minutes to like 4 hours about the time that you'll be training up to. So you don't want to necessarily go in the month before and just not be meeting those demands, because then you'll be hard on your body the day of. So those are the two things: the time, and then also, which it doesn't really matter, it hasn't made itself prevalent to me because I haven't been away from work or my routine for longer than a week. And then the other thing is training, like if I'm training for something or not, and I'll bring stuff with me or not. But to this point, I haven't brought anything specifically for training, but we always carry workout gear, so that's another thing. We always fly and travel or drive with workout gear because it's more comfortable.
Most comfortable.
And I'm not necessarily like picking my shoes like, oh, I got to get these Metcons coats, so when I hit the gym I can do X, Y, and Z. It's like I'll just go with what I got and call it a day.
That's fair.
So far.
On his honeymoon, he's going to get a bag separate just for working out, probably.
You have a separate hotel room for your workout gear.
I mentioned a bag, but if it was a different room, then that's fine.
Yeah, if I'm sponsored by then, sure, why not?
Hashtag spons.
Hashtag spons.
David, let's hear your thoughts on that.
Well, like I said before, if it's a weekend trip, I typically don't. I mean, I don't know. It all depends on the weather. If it's nice weather, I'm gonna probably be in workout type gear anyway, so I could work out, if I wanted to. But if it's a longer trip, then I'll definitely, make sure to take shorts, a t-shirt, and maybe some training shoes, depending on what I'm doing. If it's just lifting, I'll most likely, maybe do that in my socks, especially if I'm doing like kettlebell swings or squats, deadlifts, stuff like that. So the shoe wear really isn't a big deal, because, I could just wear a pair of Vans or something, and just workout like that.
Multi-purpose the shoes you walk into, the ones you walk out
I mean,
in,
I
right?
most likely am not running, so there's no need for me to like take running shoes or running type shoes, So yeah, that's about it. Depending on the time, depending on where I'm going and the weather,
That's all important factors. I just really, and the reason why I wanted to discuss this is because when I was away a couple of weeks ago, I looked at the place we were staying. The hotel did not have a gym, so when we were looking at hotels, it's funny because there was one or two we were looking at, and Alex would ask me. She said, "Oh, which one do you prefer?" And I would say, "Oh yeah, I think this one." She's like, "Oh, they're about the same. Why'd you prefer it?" And I said, just gut feeling, and it was because that one had a gym or something. Anyway, we ended up siding with the one that didn't have gym. That was no problem, and it's funny because I feel so much better when I walked out. And the whole point of vacation, as you mentioned earlier, David, is the point to just, or Angel, you also kind of touched on this as well, that you don't go for that long. It's only a week off in your routine is not going to kill you. It's fine. And it's just me having an issue with sleep. The exercise helps me as well. So it's kind of one of my mental things as well that I'll do to kind of help with all my habits that I do throughout the day to help sleep and this and that, whatever. So when I left, I took at least one pair of shoes. As you guys mentioned, you could walk in all day, but you could also walk out kind of the high repair. And then just a series of bands, right? Because that way, if you don't walk out, then it's fine. The bands don't really weigh that much. They're in the bag. They're almost unnoticed. And I think some of us will probably admit that we travel even on our backpacks with a pair of bands, like a pair of mini bands or whatever, just happen to, so whether you're jumping somewhere with a client or if you're traveling somewhere, you have them. And then the final thing I wanted to ask was, if you are going to walk out on vacation, are you guys typically designing a hybrid workout? So, if your workouts typically consist of time frame, it's sitting in the 45 to an hour and a half, I'm sure you don't want to spend an hour and a half working out on your vacation. Is it something you're doing first thing of the day? Is it something you're doing to kill time in the middle of the day? Is it you just think of the concept that, okay, let me do a 30-minute crush workout, or let me just do a 10-minute something? Like, how would you guys structure if you were to do that? Because what I did was something specific, short, sweet, first thing in the morning whilst Alex was sleeping. That way it doesn't interrupt the rest of the day. Like, how would you guys go about that?
I think for me, just in the morning, that's part of my routine though. Like I typically work out at like 5:30 in the morning, just knock that out, get it done. And I think that's helpful.
Fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I have the opportunity to, right? Like most of you guys are probably working, you got sessions at 6 or 6:30, so it doesn't really allow you time to do that, or in bed. But I do it in the morning anyway, and I think that's helpful for me, just because you get it done out of the way, and then you can just do whatever else you want to do. If something is nagging me though, like let's say for example, my hip flexor is tight or my hamstrings are tight, I might do that throughout the day. Like I might just stretch throughout the day, and I'm fine being the weirdo that's sitting at a car rental place, and how it takes like an hour for them to figure out the paperwork of who the hell you are. Like I'll just do some stretches or I'll do some mobility work and people will look at me crazy. But, if I have a problem that's causing me to have to move my body in a certain way, then I'll just handle it then and there and do that throughout the day, as opposed to just waiting until the morning and then trying to knock it out then. Also, to the previous point, I forgot that I have brought on occasion a mini foam roller with me. But I lost it and then I found it again. So it was like one time. It was in the bag that I used to travel with, and then I didn't check it. It has like different compartments or whatever. That bag, it's like an Under Armour bag. It has like 6 different components. And then so I found it in there. But that was helpful, and I think I'll bring it with me again. But anyway, that's that.
Well, if I get an actual gym to like go and lift, then I'll do my regular workout there. My regular like scheduled programming. If not, and if it's just like a regular gym in the hotel and they happen to have a rower or or kettlebells or some dumbbells, then I'll do a little bit of a circuit, maybe a little bit of row, some swings, cleans, and then I'll do some like dumbbell bench, dumbbell back rows, all that stuff. Just to keep moving.
Yeah, that's I think the important thing is to just keep moving. I think that's just
Just go for a
um
little bro session, get a pump going.
just get a little pump going. That's
Yeah.
just and it can be more. I'll admit that on my end when I was away, it was more of a mental. So I didn't purposely talk about the sleep, but the other thing as well. But I know Angel just mentioned waking up 5:36 in the morning. It's interesting because when you talk about resting from it's like a fine line, right? Where if you were to rest from your regular routine of getting up at 5, 6 in the morning, whatever it is, but then your first day back getting up at 5, 6 in the morning after a week of getting up at say 8, that is just brutal. That's so hard where I almost and it's the same thing when I went on the West Coast in September, October. I made sure I would not get up later than 8 or 9 local time because that being what 11, 12 a.m. Eastern time, I knew that if I spent a week of getting up at 10 a.m. local time, that's 1 p.m. in the afternoon. When I come back here for a 5, 6 a.m. session, that's going to be the worst. Have you ever guys traveled in different time zones and factored that in, or is that something that hasn't really crossed your mind?
I think I've done it, but it's easier for me to bounce back. I think that
Mm,
I would rather get accustomed to the time where I am, and then, you know, when I fly back, then just adjust versus trying to like do things to
different time
avoid
zone.
feeling worse when you get back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm fine with just like understanding where I'm at time zone wise and then just bouncing back. But that's just me. I don't really drink coffee and stuff like that as much as I used to, so that also helps. So if I need like a little nudge in the right direction, like I might do that when I get back. But I think about that stuff beforehand. Like if I know that I'm going to be sleepy, like I won't be drinking coffee on my vacation on the West Coast. So that when I get to the East Coast, if I do need that nudge in the right direction, I can do that for like a
You
day or
got it.
two and then just bounce
Yeah.
back. Just go to sleep earlier. Just go to sleep.
Yeah, but I as we discussed on this podcast before, I have so many issues with sleep. And last week I didn't really mention it because it's the 100th episode, but last week, sheesh, man, I just every night was just there were some nights where I feel as though I didn't even sleep, as though I closed my eyes and I almost got to sleep. I didn't, and the next thing you know, well, it's not all the next thing you know because it's all night being awake. And I check my phone and it's 4:40. I've got 5 minutes left to wake up for the day, and it's a fucking long day too. And it's just like, fuck, why is it always a day where you're the longest day? So that's just something where I keep a mental note of. I know that my sleep is so particularly it's just an absolute nightmare, no pun intended, but it's just something I think of as well. And that's why I was just curious because it's funny because even though the time zone difference is only 3 hours from here to the West Coast, when I came back in October, um the first we came back on a Saturday night around after midnight Eastern local time. And then I made myself get up on Sunday morning around 8, which felt like 5 a.m. But I knew because the following day on the Monday, I have to get up at 4:45. I said, if I don't get up by at least 8 a.m., it's going to be so much harder the Monday morning. And I think I spoke with a coworker who had been to Hawaii and he was in for a 6 a.m. session. I think he flew back a day or two before. And he said, and it was funny because he was saying, yeah, right now I feel like I'm about to go to sleep because it should be midnight in the time in Hawaii. So I never forgot that comment. But I don't know if you guys had any other thoughts on that before we wrap up this topic.
I don't think about it usually. I mean, I go maybe take the day off as soon as I get there, get some good sleep, and then the next day I'll just go at it like it's a normal day.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because going to the UK, for example, when it's 5 hours ahead, most of those flights are red eyes. I found the best way of doing it is try to sleep on the flight over, and when you wake up over there, it's 9 a.m. So it's like 4 or 5 a.m. So we are getting up at that time usually, like over here. So that helps us because we're used to that. But I mean, I found the best trick for that has been usually try and stay up the rest of the day. So when 9 p.m. comes around local time, it is a little earlier, but you're just so tired from not having really slept on the flight that you almost get that cycle. That's what I found to be best. But I just thought I would bring that up because that was something that was put on my mind when I travel. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have any other closing thoughts. Otherwise, we can wrap it up for travel section walkouts.
I was just gonna say, I have 2 points. One would be, yeah, I think you're right. Just don't try to stay, like I wouldn't try to stay up for the purpose of staying up. You know what I mean? Like if you're sleepy, if you did everything that you needed to do for the day, you know, saw whatever you needed to see, you visited all your spots, like you don't have to force yourself to stay up because you feel like, oh, I need to continue to do X, Y, and Z because it's only 7 p.m. Right? Like, why am I
Right.
gonna go to sleep? Like, if you are tired, then go for it. Same thing, vice versa. Like, I wouldn't wake up early to kind of like throw that off. Just follow your body's natural rhythm and take it from there. And then the other thing I was going to say is I saw, you know, all this stuff happening in the world right now. I saw Boris Johnson, and I was I was listening to an interview with Boris Johnson, and I was
It's
like,
your
why
boy,
the hell
Jacques.
does he look up? So I was gonna ask you, I was like, why does he look like he always just woke up? Like, is that a
Yeah, he
thing?
always looks like that. I don't know. He has he just always looks like that. I know he at one point was cycling to work. I don't know if it's a fact he's wearing the helmet, but he always looks as though he woke up. Just that hair, that look, everything. Yeah.
And the prime minister's role there is like the president, right?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you exactly the differences, which
Okay.
is a little bit embarrassing because I lived my whole life there. But the House of Congress is essentially the House of Parliament, to my understanding. If anyone knows that and is listening to me and is like punching the air right now, then please feel free to correct me. But that's kind of the gist of it. So, but I couldn't tell you much more than that, really. I was never really into politics, and I only voted once because you can vote when you're 18 over there. So vote for one term, and that was it.
But I
So
think, well, I guess it depends on the country you're in. But if you have dual citizenship, I know this from, you know, my clients that are born in Colombia and they have dual citizenship over here, that they
uh-huh.
can vote for president as well in Colombia.
So that's possible. Just from what I understand, I mean, I am trying to be, trying to remember. I don't think when I moved over here, I was able to vote in the UK because I was no longer a resident. If that makes sense.
I see. So that
I'm
might
not
be one of
saying,
those. Yeah,
yeah, what you're saying with your clients is probably true, but I think in the UK, I
in
think
the
they
UK is
don't.
probably
I could
different.
be wrong. Maybe I'm making that up. I don't know. But just from my knowledge, just from my recollection, I don't think I was able to vote. Same thing in France. Maybe I'm making that up also. I don't think I was able to vote. But to tell you the truth, I also wasn't hungry enough to go and sort out that information either. So it was just, like I voted here for the first time for the mayor election, and that's the first time I voted here finally. But so I don't, and that was more of a point that I finally can vote in the States. So I will. So
Hmm.
I don't know, but yeah, I believe it.
Who'd you vote for?
Yeah. Oh God.
You're supposed to disclose it, and I'm not going to.
Yeah, sick.
Sliwa.
There we
My
go.
man Sliwa, you know.
Oh my god.
All right, we'll
I'm
call it
kidding.
here.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I know. I
We'll
was just not
catch.
listening to
Oh,
you.
I want to say thank you to our listeners, right? I don't know if we said thank you in a couple of the other episodes, but thank you for listening. Thank you for staying in touch, staying in tune. Thank you for sliding into David's DMs, and all your messages and all your consistency. So thanks for listening, and we will catch you guys in the next one.
Oh, if you want Roan gear, the trainer feed 15 or one word for 15% off of your Roan order. Go ahead, plug it in.
Great
Best gear
underwear.
in town. You
Great
want
underwear.
it. See, Dave
Boom.
told you. I was gonna say the shorts,
That
but
underwear
Dave
is
said the underwear too.
fire. Use us to get yourself some nice, comfortable underwear.
Yo, you remember that
The
episode
trainer
that we
feed,
had
one
without
word.
David? And we were talking about fitness gear, and then we were going to draws like underwear, and I was like, "Damn, if David was here, like he would have." But here he is.
All I'm saying is 15% off. Rowan.
Get it. Swipe up. I'll get
Use
the swipe
code
ups.
the trainer feed.
Yep.
Comfy draws.
There you go, David. He sold
Peace.
it. Look at that. I'm buying it. Peace.
Deuces.